Yo. Come on in, man. Come on in. Come on in, man. Let's talk some football, man. Let's talk some football. Uh, we took a little time off, man, but y'all know as soon as something pop up, we got to talk. We have two quick topics we want to talk about, and if y'all want to add in the chat, y'all know how it be. We scheduled for 30 minutes, but when y'all start talking, end up being an hour. Cause one thing about it, sometimes y'all drive the show, and that's something that we gotta appreciate, man. But Chris, you know what to do, man. Tell everybody what's up.
What's good, everybody? It's time to talk some Falcon football. OTAs is in, so you already know we had to come in here, talk about a few things that's going on. Kind of just starting out, and we're gonna be really just covering OTAs, different things, different topics going on with OTAs, and continue to run on out the rest of the month of May with that because some guys are impressing, and we got to talk about MPJ, man. MPJ back out there throwing them darts. Or hold on.
Yeah, but look, what did you expect? We've been talking about it for a minute, and I told y'all, if I say he's ready for OTAs going into training camp and things and mini camp, training camp, preseason, if he's ready by then, hey, he could be ready week one. But like I said, they not rushing him, and I'm still not rushing him. And he's still not working with the team. This is just OTAs where it's just shorts, a jersey, and a helmet. Nothing major. So he's just really, trying to get his mental back and get his feet up under him mentally. And I think that's what this is for. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, for sure. To be honest, like I said, the certain videos that were just so cryptic. First of all, the Falcons give you the Michael Penix, throwing the ball. Like give you the image, right? Then they give you a little video, him and Drake. Okay, 9 to 5 back alive. We got it. Then they give you another video of him under center. Just little by little, just leaving like little breadcrumbs for you. And then, today, if y'all seen, I think it was I forgot his name, but it was one of the guys, they had a video of Michael Penix and Tua, next to each other throwing. One thing that I did notice was the fact that, Michael Penix, was standing strong. Also, the arm definitely still there. But, of course, nothing happened with his arm. It was to his legs. So the arm was definitely there. Passes were looking crisp. Another thing that I did notice, I think say at least about 30 yards down the field, the ball that Tua threw died. I'm just saying what I noticed, just in that little clip. But regardless, though, Smitty, I'm just looking. I'm like strong arm, standing in the pocket, in good spirits. One thing he did say, though, he was like, as long as nobody doesn't fall into my legs or anything like that right now, I'm good.
ADL world ain't finna give you 2 seconds of fame. You can hate me all you want, but I'm gonna still talk my shit. Believe that. Just be real with you. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not following him for the banana in the tailpipe. Until I see him touch the field, like I said, it's gonna continue to be the same thing. Trish Daddy, what's good? RB. Larry, what's good?
RB for the Las Vegas Grizzlies.
Yeah, y'all hate me because I say what other people want. 6'7", what's up, my guy? I ain't finna sugarcoat nothing. Until I see him on that field week one, it's gonna be still wait and see approach.
Hey, one thing about Smitty, man, at the end of the day, how could you hate him, man? He's being as real as he can be.
Hey, that's the way I know how to be.
Hey, think about it. Me and Smitty, we don't always agree, but at the end of the day, I respect his opinion. I respect his opinion, though. He want to wait until week one. But my thing is, week one is still the goal for MPJ, and one day at a time, one step at a time. But he is in good spirits. I told you, Smitty, though, it's something
and that's all you can ask for. The mental, we know that mental aspect. He got that all day. Mm-hmm. It's just will the body hold up? That's what we talking about. And it's the same with Tua. Same as that thing with Tua.
Well, shoot, I ain't gonna lie to you, Smitty. We are kind of hoping that the mental aspect of Tua does hold up.
Yeah.
I'm about to say when you think about it on a perspective level,
and he got it bad twice because he has to have confidence in what's gonna happen with this offensive line. And then he has to be confident when he take a fall and fall back and pray his head don't hit the ground. So it's just that bad. So look, like I said, we just got to pray these guys stay healthy. So until we do that, man, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And then think about it, if I said something like he gonna be ready for this, he gonna be ready for that, he's not ready. What y'all gonna say?
Smitty, you were wrong.
You lied. You wasn't ready. You lied. Yeah, see, I know not that. I know how not to fall into that trap. I just don't fall into that trap until I see it with my own physical eyes. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna support him 200%. But I got to keep it real because I know after 3 ACL injuries, we all know once the injury happens, it could easily happen again. Just saying, with a concussion too. So both of these quarterbacks. Go ahead.
No, I was just about to say the one thing that gives me hope on that about the injuries is the fact that it was a knee that didn't go through it before. You know, and this is his third ACL total.
Yeah, 2 on one leg, and he just suffered 1 on the other leg this year. So
and it was partial, so it wasn't a full tear.
Right.
So we did get lucky there. So I'm just saying, like Smitty, I mean, hey, partial tear, everybody's body is different. And we have to see. I'm with you though. We do have to get him out there on the field against real competition. But all I'm saying is in May 19th, and he's been throwing since March. I just feel like on May 19th, that is a great thing to be excited about. I mean, we still got to get to July and all that, but right now, present day, I just feel like for Falcon fans, especially ones who support MPJ, this is a one of those stepping stones and something that you can mark and be like, all right, bet. So May 19th, he out there, he under center. Even if you think about the timeline that I gave you from what the Falcons were leaving with the breadcrumbs, you can say, boom, boom, boom. Those are all good signs. The one thing that Falcon fans do not want to hear, and I'll knock on wood for those who are superstitious, all that good stuff. The one thing that Falcon fans don't want to hear is setback. So as long as you're not hearing setbacks, that means right now the doctors tell
everything good. Yeah.
Right. Because remember what the doctor said. He said Michael Penix knee will be stronger than it ever has been. We're going to see exactly how that's going to work out. Of course, NFL players are going to put that to the test. I'm pretty sure this is the game of football. But overall, though, I'm just saying, like, you have to stand legs to throw. And just like I know, it's not your arm is the first thing to go. It's your legs on the quarterback. Most of the time, unless you got something going on all up in there. But,
Yeah. And one positive spin I always give people, you talk about guys like Adrian Peterson who stayed out about 7-8 months and he was back. Then you look at guys like Frank Gore, who played 16 years in the league with 3 ACL injuries in college. So I mean, it's sometimes it is stories that overcome the odds, but at the same time you just got to keep it real with yourself. And and just go day by day and game by game and year by year. Just keep it real with y'all.
Yeah, man.
But Michael Penix, before we get to going, we're gonna hear what he got to say. It's just gonna be a quick listen as to how he's scoping out his own recovery and telling y'all he's feeling good, and you can hear the confidence in his voice. And this is what we love. This is what we love to hear, the confidence. Man, get out of here. Let's go right quick, because
it seems like to the naked eye, you're doing everything, fairly normally. How do you feel where you at right now in your process?
Yeah, I feel great. I'm just taking it one day at a time, just trusting the process like you just talked about, and, just trusting what the trainers are telling me and giving me all the information I need to go out and be successful and to be healthy at the same time. So I've just been taking it one day at a time and, just striving to be better each and every day.
Do you expect to be physically ready for week 1? Do you think that's doable?
Yeah, man, that's a goal. That's always been a goal ever since I got hurt. That's been a goal, But at the same time, I got to focus on the right now, and right now I got to do whatever I can to get better each and every day.
And there it is. He talks about the right now, and the right now is right now, and he's got to take it day by day. Like I said, when you take it day by day, and you do what you need to do in the program, I mean, what else can you do? Miss Auntie Joy, what's good? What else can you do?
What's
Because at
good?
the end of the day, we can only go as far as our body lets us, or as far as what the doctor says in our recovery process, or how much strain we can put on our body. Because he was doing light jogs today, which is a good sign because he can lift his leg and bend his leg, so that's a good thing. But he's got a ways to go, and he knows that, so he's not going to jump the gun and say, "Hey, oh yeah, I'm gonna be ready in a couple of months when training camp start." You can't go that far. He's got to keep working out in the gym, keep strengthening that leg, probably put more and more weight on it. So I mean, it's a ways to go, but the positive spirit is just something that you love.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, man. Going out there, hey, he still said week 1 is the goal. Now, will he get there? That still remains to be seen. But the high spirits and the high confidence, told you guys about, a guy that's been through these different things is either gonna fold them or it's gonna, forge them. And right now, Michael Penix is in that area right now to where he's in his recovery. He's going good right now, or great, better than expected, and some people are saying. And of course, you're seeing different things that he's trying to ramp up. Because of course, Tua is getting more snaps right now, but he's still getting his fair share as well. So it's all about going out there, taking advantage of your oppos.
Facts. Dragon say crazy for Matt to sign Tua to compete with Penix. Falcons never did him like that ever in his career, even if it was warranted. And that's probably one of the problems. Had they had a plan in place when Matt Ryan was going downhill physically, maybe we don't end up in this spot. Maybe they don't have to go out there Deshaun Watson and spend $200 million. Maybe they fix it before we get into a quarterback carousel in a 3-year period with 5 quarterbacks. Maybe we don't go out and sign Kirk Cousins. Maybe we stick with Mike Penix or draft Mike Penix to succeed the quarterback after Matt Ryan. See, things like this is a domino effect. When you put things in place at the right time and that domino effect falls in the right place, things like this doesn't happen as far as a quarterback carousel. And I get it. Chris said it himself. When you get a veteran quarterback that's 70% completion percentage, 125 touchdown, I think he's thrown, very accurate quarterback, and you get him for 1.3 million, you got to make that move. And it's not like they signed him to another 180 million deal. It's just a 1-year deal.
That's it.
So it's a fill-in, a backup quarterback that they can have confidence in, and they don't have to pay him a lot of money. And it was the right move in my opinion. Then they went out also as an undrafted free agent. They brought in a Division II quarterback, strong arm, big build, prototypical size. So they're dotting all their T's. I'm sorry, crossing their T's and dotting their I's like they were supposed to. And now they're doing it at a much cheaper rate, which is what they should have done anyway. But if they started Penix year 1, I don't think we would be at this point right now. One, I think he would be farther ahead of his progress. I think we would exactly know what we have in Penix. And going into this season, this would probably be his last season if he started from the jump. And they would know if they had to go out and draft another quarterback next year or sign a big name free agent, one we've talked about. So they're right in the spot where they need to be. If things work out for Penix, hey, they may have the quarterback for the future. You don't have to worry about it. You bring in the backup until, however long he's here. So I love the Tua signing because of value, because of money, and because of experience. And it's something he talked about in his press conference, working with Tua, learning from him in the film room, taking pointers for him. So it's not only a competition, it's just they're working together to make this team better at the quarterback position. That's all we have to pray for. But go ahead.
I just had a vision. I ain't like the vision either. I envisioned Michael Penix starting from week 1, and I'm like, everything going good, but I still remember a very important fact. The offensive coordinator was still Zach Robinson. The head coach was still Raheem Morris.
Agreed.
So I'm trying to figure out it. So this is what I'm wondering. If you never did get Kirk Cousins but still had those two, would have been exposed sooner? Especially like Zach Robinson. I say that because I'm firm on believing that Kirk Cousins, another reason why you had to pay him extra is because that was a player coach role. He had to coach along the offensive coordinator, along with
Exactly.
trying to perform,
Exactly.
along with trying to give some pointers to Penix.
Exactly. There you go, 100%. And you know yourself, I've been saying that. You could tell the difference from when Kirk Cousins was on the field than when when Kirk Cousins on the field than it was Mike Penix. Mike Penix cannot, go out and, dial up and tell you what's going on right offhand. He can see some of it, but Kirk Cousins can see it before it happens. And if he sees it before it happens, he knows how to adjust. He goes back to the offense coordinator and says, hey, we need to run this. We need to figure this out, how to do this. And the only way it seemed like Zach Robinson knew how to do that was use Bijan Robinson. And at some point, you've got to have your quarterback carry the team. And I know Bijan is probably one of the best players in the league, but at the same time, the quarterback is the most important position on the field. So when you don't have an incompetent coordinator that doesn't know how to close out drives, can't manage the clock, and just can't come into the clutch, what do you need him for? It just doesn't make sense, and really can't develop a quarterback.
Player.
So why was he here?
Coach.
Go ahead.
Player coach.
Yeah, player coach.
All I got to say,
right.
Player coach. And my thing is, I feel even more confident about it. But when we play Tampa, and just the way that we go out through the season, depending on how Michael Penix plays or what just the quarterback position all the way around, will really strengthen or weaken that whole claim that I'm saying about the player coach. But that's where I'm at with it, though, bro.
I agree, and we both talked about that during the season. Even 2024, we talked about that. You could just tell the difference as to what was going on in the film room, what was going on in the practice field, because you can just clearly tell attention to detail was not really worked on with Mike Penix like it was with Kirk Cousins. One, because Kirk is a 13, 14-year veteran at that point, so he pretty much knows what to do. But a guy like Penix, a rookie / second year from year 1 to year 2, how much progress did you really see? Because the last 3 games he played in 24, you couldn't tell me that the next season was going to be his and he was going to be the future. They took 2 steps back. He got to the point where he couldn't read coverage. He did too many checkdowns, and he just didn't know how to audible out of certain plays into better plays because he didn't know how to read the field correctly. So what really did he learn from year 1 to year 2? And now going into year 3, he had to learn a whole nother system on a whole nother staff. But the difference is this staff that we have right now, I think they can develop a quarterback better than the last regime did. That's the only difference.
Right.
Penix will be quarterback in 2026. The Falcons will win the division. I hope they win the division. They have to, actually. Let's get it. What's up, my guy? Thank you for the donation, my brother. Y'all go check out Let's Get It GA on YouTube, man. He does gaming, he does Madden, he does NBA 2K, MLB The Show, and WWE. So please go check him out.
Yes, sir.
Cold-blooded. He's a Strand quarterback in 27-28. Not like Strand's chances, man. He has a lot of hype behind him, and it's warranted because when you look at a quarterback with prototypical size, when have you seen the Falcons with a quarterback with prototypical size outside of Matt Ryan? I'm even talking about Michael Vick. He wasn't a prototypical size. He was like 6'1", maybe 6 feet, 210 pounds. But he had a playground style about him. Yeah. And he knew how to maneuver around the field. So Jack Strand could be one of these guys. And I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. If they can get an undrafted free agent as a rookie, and he can develop into an NFL starter, and they decide to move on from either one of these guys, you got 4 or 5 years, you can build the rest of the team, and that's a championship caliber team because all he had to do is manage the game. You have a dynamic running back, you had a dynamic receiver, solid offensive line, defense is coming of age, quarterback is the only question mark still. Mm-hmm. Even right now, it's still a question mark. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But hey, I'm just saying.
Go
ahead.
Strand, though. Now, I was saying that doggone Jack Strand, man, he reminds me so much of like just from the size, reminds me of like Big Ben, just big quarterback, probably hard to bring down. I mean, I've seen some of his highlights, guys trying to tackle him. It is hard to bring him down, man. He's a big guy. So, and then he has a big arm too. It's like, okay, he has a different style of throwing, but he's a gunslinger. I feel like he likes to fit the ball into tight windows. And there isn't a window that he doesn't feel like he can get the ball to it because he has a cannon for an arm too. So it's like, man, if Jack Strand can just hone in on a few of those skills, a little bit of a touch here, a little bit better footwork there and processing, and cut down on those interceptions, even more so, bro, Jack, we could have something in Jack. But of course, that is down the line, and that just goes along with the comment. We're still in the now. And right now, I feel like it is Michael Penix and Tua Tagovailoa, and that one or two of those guys are definitely going to be starting week 1. We'll just see which one it is. I'm still hoping for Michael Penix, but if Michael Penix is starting, I'm expecting him to be 100% healthy because I don't want 99% Michael Penix. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't need 110%, 100%.
And you think about 1.3 with Tua, that's cheap for a backup. That's a third string salary. If you're the backup in today's NFL, you're gonna spend at least $10 million at the least. So it's like I said again, for 1.3, that's still a steal. But Auntie Joy want to know, do y'all think we can draft a quarterback next draft? And this is an excellent question. And that really depends on how this season turns out at the quarterback position. Can we get either one of these guys to stay healthy and make it through the season? If they can do that, I think it's very positive because you got to think. This is Michael Penix's 3rd year, so next year will be his 4th year, which means they have to think about picking up his 5th year option. If they don't pick up his 5th year option, to me, that's a clear sign that they could be moving in another direction as far as quarterback. But again, this is why I brought up the Joe Burrow conversation about a month ago, because as I'm thinking about the future, depends on what happened with either one of these guys. If they say, hey, I don't want to pick up the 5th year option, we'll just ride this year out, see where it goes. And guess what? Down the road, let's go out and get a veteran guy. We still have a win now team. Our defense has gotten better. We have the coaching in place. Everything's in place. And this is the way Matt Ryan is going to think. And this is my opinion. This is the way I think Matt Ryan is going to think because he's a quarterback. So he knows that if you have a win now team, you have to go out and get the finishing piece to make this a championship caliber team. And I still think the quarterback position is going to be up in the air for the next 2 to 3 years. Just keep it real with y'all. Whether it's a rookie, and like I said, I don't think that they'll go the rookie route anymore because they've done that with backups and 1st and 2nd year players, Mariota, Heineke, Ritter, and I can keep going since Matt has been gone. So why would they keep going in that direction instead of just going to get a veteran, trade for a veteran, see what you can do because you'll have the cap space to sign a big name quarterback. Another name that's probably going to be out there, and we've talked about it, Jalen Hurts is another one. So we'll see how it plays out with the quarterback position in the next, I would say, year, and then we go from there. But this is an excellent question because I just don't see them going in the draft and doing that again in the immediate future. Maybe 5-6 years down the road, but in the next 2 to 3 years, while they have a win now team, just don't see it. Keeping it real. What you think?
Well, it's now this is from a different angle. Think about this too. Kevin Stefanski, if things don't work, first of all, if things don't work out with Tua's gone. We only paid 1.3. So he can go out and figure out his next contract if he doesn't work out or if he never really even sees the field. So that's what that Michael Penix, I believe, even if he does not succeed this season, I think he's going to be on the team because, again, he will be going into his 4th year. Even if they don't pick up the 5th year immediately, I think Michael Penix is on the team regardless. But there will be more rumblings about veteran quarterbacks. There will be more tryouts and more reps for guys like Jack Strand. You got to think about it. Right. If the quarterback situation doesn't work out in 2026 for the Falcons, yes, you do have options as far as in the draft. And I believe Ian Cunningham is going to really search all options because Kevin Stefanski also would have an opportunity to draft his own guy. Think about that as well. So The old regime, they drafted their guy. And I know even though, too, you got to factor in what Arthur Blank is going to. But come on, that's another reason why Matt is there. And if Matt says, hey, man, we got to go into this direction, it's all love, but we got to do what's best for the logo. Arthur is definitely going to be like, okay, Matt, I trust you. That's just my opinion. So it just all depends on, really, I'm hoping for success because I don't want to be searching for another quarterback. I don't want to have to look into the draft. And yeah, Joe Burrow, we talked about Joe. I think you talked about Jalen Hurts and everything as well. Those could be options with a higher salary cap next year. So I think, if we don't do good, Ian is going to do every due diligent thing that he can. He's going to leave no stone unturned. And that means looking at the Eagles if they're not successful. That means looking at the Bengals if they're not successful and seeing if we can acquire one of those quarterbacks to come with this ready-made team. If not, again, you still have Penix. Let's see if year 4 could work out, or Jack Strand, or just some type of veteran quarterback. I don't think that the Falcons necessarily want to use draft capital next year for a quarterback unless everything else just doesn't work out.
Right, and you got to think Jake Matthews is getting up in age, one of the key positions to protect the quarterback. Then you look at another situation that I would like y'all to give an insight to. Seattle. Seattle found that missing piece in Sam Darnold. They looked and said, hey, Minnesota, let him go. We seen what he did in Minnesota, led them to a winning record. He's turned his career around. Let's go get Sam Darnold, put him with an offensive coordinator that can use his skill set. What do? Win a Super Bowl. So this is why I say if you have a win now team, you just don't go backward with drafting a quarterback. You go find a veteran that you think can be the missing piece, take this team to the next level, end up like a Seattle Seahawks team, and possibly win a Super Bowl. Because you look at Kenneth Walker, who expected him to win Super Bowl MVP and do what he did. And we have with Bijan Robinson. Just imagine you go out and get a competent quarterback that can at least throw 25, 30 touchdowns, and you make a deep playoff run. You hit the jackpot. Why? Because you don't have to spend $60, $70 million on the quarterback. 40 maybe, but you gave that to Kirk Cousins, and look what he did. So you go do it with somebody else that can younger, that can possibly come in and just be the missing piece. And you have to think positive like that sometimes. But our boy DBG11 said, to be honest, neither works out for Penix or Tua. Falcon would definitely draft the quarterback. Target a quarterback. Not draft, but target. So yeah, I see, but that's how it has to be. Yeah. Let's get it said. Much love tip. Nothing but respect.
Oh, and then you dropped the super
chat. Absolutely. He said Ritter was a fraud from the jump. Never impressed me.
I hate that, man. I was one of the folks out here trying my best to defend Ritter because he was our quarterback at the time, but it just didn't work out, bro. Thank you, Philip. Appreciate that too. For the super too, man. My brother Sean, man. Appreciate that.
Calais signed because of Ritter, but dipped out because MP and Kurt. I just think it was a money thing with Calais.
Remember?
He wanted to play defensive end. He played better at tackle. That's the crazy thing.
Yes, he did play better, but he didn't want to be in the inside. He wanted to play on the outside because that's where he normally played. And the new defensive coordinator comes in and Jimmy Lake, actually, and he probably was telling him, nah, you're not going to play edge. So it's just like, and then on top of that, you were first-year defensive coordinator. It was going to be hard for Calais to stay.
And then it was justified that he stayed on the inside. Remember when we talked about the Kyler Murray scrambling for 19 yards on third down? Who did he run past?
He ran.
When Joshua Dobbs kept breaking outside the pocket, who was on the outside?
Yeah, man, it was outrunning Calais.
Be careful what you ask for. Just be careful what you ask for.
They just better be looking. It wasn't Calais 5 years ahead of time.
If it was Calais in his early 30s, they would have been through. Because think about it, he's 6'8". He got to do it getting arm's length of you, and he was stupid.
Long reach, man.
Baby Driver, what's good, my guy? He said they hating on the NFC South round table. Shout out to my guys over there. Shout out to my guy TJ, Saints content creator, my boy Clay, and my boy James Bucks creator and Clay as a Panthers content creator. Shout out to those guys, man. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. Still keep in touch with those guys. Probably had them on the show during the season and do the preview shows. We'll see how that rolls, but I definitely talk to my guy TJ often. So shout out to him. He said they saying we going 3-14, saying we might win 4 games. Who are we better than on our schedule? Saying we got no chance to win the division. And baby driver, you and I know both that's a lie, because we could have easily won the division last year had the special teams held up. If the special team holds up last year, we easily win 11 games, because Younghoe Koo, he lost about 2 games with missed kicks. One in the final moments, that Jets game, they lost that bad kick. The New Orleans game, missed kick. So special teams was our biggest problem last year. You fixed that on top of what they built on offense, on the offensive staff, just getting better as a play calling team. That, I think, that puts us over the top. And I'm not gonna lie, Carolina has upgraded the hell out of their team. I give them kudos for that. But the Falcons, to me, still had the better roster because they have more veterans.
And more chemistry. A lot of our guys are coming back. And, a lot of their guys, don't get me wrong, a lot of their guys are coming back, but they still have new pieces that got to get acclimated. I mean, that's for all teams, of course, but still that chemistry and camaraderie is a main thing. And you got to go out there, and then the quarterback got to execute. Who's to say that Bryce doesn't have another terrible year? And he needs to have one, playing against the Falcons, because, again, like I said, he's 4-1 against us. Crazy. Hasn't lost since his rookie seasons to the Falcons. So they're going to be riding that wave, and they're going to be talking their noise. As for NFC Roundtable, shout out to everybody, all the creators over there. But the show itself is just, it feels kind of rage baity, So,
yeah, that's all it is, man. That's all it is, man. At the end of the day. But I got DBG 11 said we all play the same team, and that's absolutely true.
Yeah,
and 85% of the schedule, 85% of the schedule is exactly the same. You're gonna play the same teams, except 2 teams in different divisions. That I think each team in each division play another team from that other division, and it's all the same division at the end of the day. But those 2 games, those 2 outside games, I just think we'll see, because the game that y'all talking about we gonna lose, we may win and y'all gonna lose.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. But like Chris said, perfect example. Outside of the Atlanta Falcons, what has Bryce Young done?
I'll wait. Just saying.
Chris, like I keep telling him, I got that car seat in the back seat in the van back there. He gonna be back there sooner or later. He gonna be back there
later, man. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, man. Again, think about all the teams that we was in the game against the 49ers. Divine Diablo went down, and then that's what changed the dynamics of that. We beat the Bills. We trashed the Vikings, and people thought we were going to lose that game. It's just so crazy. And think about all the games that special teams take care of business. There's like 3 games we lost, 3 or 4 games we lost because of kicks. I want to say, including missing kicks. I want to say I can add another maybe 2 games to that just from losing, just because we had gave terrible field position, whether if it's from kickoff, whether if it's from punts, whatever. So that's 6 games there. You never know what could happen.
And the Carolina game, we just didn't show. If we even show up that game, we possibly win. That game. We just didn't show up. They didn't even get off the bus.
Right. And the crazy thing about it is, I'm not even counting the Carolina game. That 30-0, I'm not even counting that. I'm counting other games to where I'm like, we were right there in it. If execution was better, if field position was better, if we wasn't giving up, if we wasn't getting gashed in the special teams returns and all that stuff, it just, again, like, you never know what could have happened in those 6 games. We were just that close. And we end up tying with the Carolina Panthers. If we win one more game, we go to the playoffs, even with all the turmoil that was going on in the season, the up and down, the missing quarterback, all that. And we still almost made it. So it just,
I'm glad you said that. Because the turmoil that you talk about was probably the reason why we couldn't make it over the top. When you deal with turmoil in the locker room, as a player, how do you trust the coaches with turmoil brewing, which is something that they could have prevented? Because I'm telling y'all, the Mike Penix Kirk Cousins was a power struggle between Arthur Blank and Raheem Morris, because Raheem Morris brought Kirk Cousins to Atlanta, and that's who he wanted, but the owner wanted Mike Penix. So what's the best way to get your revenge? You just do just enough to get by with Penix. Wait on him to seem like he's failing. You take him out, then you put your guy in. Exactly what happened. So,
boy. I'm glad all those times are over now. Now we have better times, hopefully, to look forward to. Of course, just so far, just the vibe and everything has just been, I feel like crystal clear, and I feel like intentional. I feel like, open door. All those things are the things I think about when I think about this new regime, just with Matt and Ian alone. Going to Kevin Stefanski. Coach Stefanski, he does, something, he doesn't give you a lot of song and dance, He kind of gives you just what he thinks, how he feels, and that's just cut and dry. I even love the comment. Either. Right. I even love the comment about, hey, man, if they want us to go out there and play on the concrete, we'll go out there and play. It's just those simple things like that. And I know we had, I don't want to say similar with Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith was his own entity, but he wasn't, the fun guy. He wasn't a lot of, he was a little, when you got on his nerves, he got a little sass, I understand, but still, like, some of these no-nonsense guys kind of like are the guys you kind of need. I mean, they can have a little hoorah, but the bottom line got to be the bottom line, and that is going out there winning football games. Whether if you're biting kneecaps like Dan Campbell, or if you're demanding excellence like Mike Tomlin used to. I understand that, down the stretch, those careers, especially with Tomlin, kind of like didn't go the right direction, but still, you demanded excellence. And I love the excellence so far of Ian Cunningham, Matt Ryan, and the direction, at least just the direction of where we're going.
Agreed. Dragon want to know how much y'all really willing to pay Drake.
I'm
gonna stick to what I said, man. I'm at the George Pickens number at 27, 28 million. That's my range. That's the top for me. But I know since this player got paid just a couple of weeks ago, it's gonna be in the 30 million range easy to start. And it's gonna only go up from there. And I'm still with it. I'm still not rolling with that. That's just me. And I know Drake is a damn good player, probably top 10 receiver in the league. But when you talk about game changer, to me, he just don't possess that quality. He can make plays and he can score touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about just taking over the game, don't see that. Just don't. And there's no knock to him. That's something you got to be born with.
My thing is, I just say he's getting paid more than Alex Pierce. That's my whole thing. Well, Alex got
he's at what? 28?
29?
Yeah, so 30 at the starting point.
So, and I look at it, I'm like, okay, this year Drake will be making 16. I think 16 million. Okay.
Yeah, 16.3.
I can see 32. I can see them giving him that pay upgrade and just going, hey, man, we'll go 32. And which still would be a W, for the Falcons overall, because you still not making him like the highest paid. There's going to be guys that's going to come behind him that's going to leapfrog him. And by the time, let's say, another 3 years go by, man, it's probably going to be 10 guys 40 ahead of Drake.
Yeah, it's going to be at 50 by then because Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, both of those guys are 1 and 2. So when you get to their next contract, they're going to be 45 to 50 in that range. They're going to be quarterback money range.
Aye.
And don't get me wrong, Drake is a hell of a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at guys like George Pickens, you look at guys like Jamar Chase, those are game-changing players.
CD Lamb
on any other team, Drake London will probably be a very good number 2, like a T. Higgins. And T. Higgins is at 25 million, I think. So if you wanted me to be honest, that would be my range, 25, 27. But Alec Pierce got paid, so that ship is sailed for the Falcons.
Right.
Dan said one quarterback who might be available. Go ahead.
No, I just was saying, it's just the market. That's what I go back to. It's
Yeah, it's
not
the
even
market.
about loving or hating the guy. It's just the market screams for more than Alex Pierce. That's all I can say.
And I'm gonna put it like this before I move on to Dan's question. When you think about what the Falcons are trying to build on offense, if Kyle takes less money than the 17 he's projected to make, if Drake takes less than the 32 million, like you said, that he's projected to make, if they can stay in a sizable range, you keep all of these three together with him and Bajan and Pitts. That's what the Falcons are going to try to work out. Because like you've been saying and I've been saying, you can't keep everybody. But the more they stay up under that cap number to make sure they can keep all these guys together, this is what they're aiming for. And it doesn't always work out like that. But if they can do that, I think the Falcons will have probably one of the best offenses in the league for the next 5 years. Just saying. But Dan said one quarterback might be available in a year or two is Dak. I don't think the Cowboys extend him again. I agree. Because he's going to be, I think, 62, 63 million this year, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere in that range. He was at 60 last year. So Dak in Atlanta, that would be tough. That would be tough. But I would stick to my guns. Keep it real.
Okay.
I would stick to my guns.
Okay.
I would stick to my guns. I'm going to go Joe Burrow over Dak. I'm going to still stick to Joe Burrow over Dak.
I was going to say Dak, Jalen, or Joe Burrow. Which one would you take personally?
I still got to go Joe. I got to. Sorry.
Yeah, if I had to choose between those three, I'm going Joe. It would be Joe, Jalen, and Dak in my opinion. And it really, Dak and Jalen can really flip flop at any given time. But Burrow would be first. If just answering that question for the fun of it.
But I would take Zach over Jalen because Dak is a better passer, more accurate. Yeah. He can throw the deep ball better than Jalen. Yeah. Any given Sunday could go the other way. But yeah, you're right.
There you go.
Mark said, and don't get me wrong, I'm gonna just speak this and then I'm gonna speak my thoughts. Drake took over New England game, better coaching and play calling will really unlock him. Now, I agree with that to a certain extent. But does Drake have top end speed? Does Drake possess the ability to say, hey, throw me the ball 15, 20 times, I go over 300 yards? He doesn't have that top end speed. He doesn't. He doesn't have that ability to run out to the catch that we like from superstar receivers. And that's what top end speed plays in. Now, the reason why I said T. Higgins, and even T. Higgins is pretty fast for his size, Drake is more to me of a red zone killer, a guy that a possession guy that when you need a key catch, he can be that guy. But when you're taking top off the defense, being a vertical threat, I just don't see Drake in that territory. I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just me.
Well,
without that
I mean, you kind of think about it, Smitty. Falcons have already kind of indicated without saying it. Look at our wide receiver room, man. Just look at it this year. You got Drake, you got Kyle. Neither one of those two guys are necessarily speedsters. They can play bully ball. They can you out. Drake wins 80-20 balls. You know, sit in the air and everything. They're physical, all that stuff. You can move Drake around. You can move Kyle around. All those things. You know, there's a lot of different dynamics that they can do. But you also look around, you got Zach, you got OZ, you got Jihad, who got some speed too. Jihad's not slow. So it's like overall though, bro, it's like even if they don't believe that he has the top end speed, what you have to do is put speed around him as well.
Exactly.
You know? So
exactly. That's exactly what they did.
Exactly. So it's like the Falcons already know, but they're going to make sure that Drake is set up. And just think about when those speed guys get out there, that's going to open up more for Drake. Drake one-on-one, I like Drake most times one-on-one with receivers because I know he's going to use that basketball aspect. I know he's going to use the football physical aspect all the way around, and he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder. So it's like,
Right.
and of course, he's going to be one of the best blockers at the wide receiver position. So you're going to be able to catch those outsides, those insides, going to Drake's side. Normally, it's a successful run for the most part. So it's like it's different things outside of just playing just the receiver position that Drake does, in the locker room, becoming more of a vocal leader, especially for these young guys like Zach Branch, saying like the Cash Joneses and all those stuff that's good and added to the wide receiver room. So
Right.
Drake, regardless, is that veteran now. You think about it, he is that veteran in that locker room, talking to these guys, motivating these guys. And of course, Kyle Pitts, he's not necessarily, he could probably may be a leader in the tight end room, but think about it, Drake is the guy because he's the veteran in the wide receiver room. At least in the tight end room, you got Austin Hooper, Charlie Warner, stuff like that. It's not like it's just Kyle Pitts and Josh Simons. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah. Facts. Ms. Drill, thank you for the donation. She said, "What's up, fellas? Busy, but got my ears on. Appreciate you as always." My boy Q say, what's good? He late. It's all good. Q, you probably out there working them parties, man. Pumping up that music, man. Y'all go check out Big Q on TikTok, man. He always over there DJing. If y'all want to hear some music while y'all relaxing at night, or y'all just chilling during the day, cleaning up or something, please go check out Big Q over there on TikTok. He doing his thing with the music. Knew I was gonna get pushback. Dexter, what's good, my guy? He said you tripping. Pickens being better than Drake. He didn't put them numbers up until he got number 2 with Lamb.
I mean, he did go dumb.
Dexter, you know I do my research, man. You know this. Go back to his second year in the league. And I'm gonna tell you like this, Dexter. The only reason he fell to the second round, torn ACL. Go back to his second year in Pittsburgh with trash at quarterback. 63 catches, over 1,100 yards, 18.1 yards a catch.
18.1. It was crazy.
What did I say that what Drake's problem was? Vertical threat, speed, run after the catch. That's exactly what George Pickens does well. He was the number 1 guy in Dallas last year, really, because CeeDee Lamb got hurt. He didn't skip a beat. He turned into the number 1 on the spot when CeeDee Lamb went down. Just think about when you talk about some of the top receivers in the league. George Pickens could easily be in that conversation. And to me, he has outplayed DK Metcalf. And he's a physical freak. Hell, even Drake done outplayed DK Metcalf. Because I don't think DK Metcalf give his all every Sunday. Some Sunday he just takes Sunday out and say the hell with it.
He's another guy you got to keep engaged. Remember how I be talking about Kyle Pitts and keeping Kyle Pitts engaged?
Yeah.
You got to keep DK engaged. If DK is not engaged, AJ Brown too. All they do the same. Not the same. They're just when I say you got to keep them engaged, you got to.
Hall of Fame receiver was like that too. Terrell Owens was like that. Randy Moss was like that. Some guys you just got to keep feeding the football for them to be effective. But then you got some guys like Julio Jones. They just not gonna take a play off. Megatron. They just not gonna take a play off. They just gonna keep fighting.
Roddy White.
Roddy White was another one. Terrence Matthew was another one.
And Quan Bolden. Now if we just
one of the most underrated receivers, Steve Smith, another one.
Yeah, guys that just didn't take plays off. So again, you just got to keep them. You just got to keep them engaged, man. But I mean, Kyle, I feel like Kyle. When I talk about keeping him engaged, it's not really a bad thing. I understand some people like, man, you got to keep this grown man engaged. Why you can't just go play football? You're right, but it's just not like that. Keep him engaged and keep him in the games. Use him as the weapon that he is, and shoot, man, the Falcons are better off for it.
Boy, you're gonna make me work tonight, ain't you, Mark? I would never use the quarterback for an excuse again. Larry Fitzgerald never had a quarterback to Kurt Warner got there. Andre Johnson didn't have a quarterback to Matt Schaub got there. I can keep going and going. I will never use a quarterback for an excuse again. If you got that it factor and you got that dog in you, you're gonna find a way to go make plays. Period. Just look at those two guys alone.
Deshaun Kaiser. Oh my gosh, you said a name then.
Look at those.
Y'all remember Deshaun Kaiser? He was supposed to be.
Oh boy.
Good Lord.
That was awful. But my point is, when you got that it factor, it don't matter who it quarterback. It don't. Let's keep it real. Am I lying? Isaac Bruce is another one. Before he got there, before Trent Green got there, before Kurt Warner got there, Andre Rison, another with the Falcons. He had Chris Miller. Chris Miller, we all know, wasn't the best quarterback in the Atlanta Falcons history. Probably top 5, but not 1 through 4. Andre Rison still led the league in touchdown receptions. So when you got that it factor, you know how to get open. You're gonna make plays. You're gonna score touchdowns. You're gonna put up stats. So you question paying Pickens $35 million a year? Absolutely not. Because like I said, he just has that it factor. His only downfall is his goddamn mental. If he gets his mental together, George Pickens could easily be a top 3 receiver in this league, maybe top 4. Just keeping it real.
$35 million a year. Did I pay any of my other receivers yet? No.
CeeDee Lamb is at what, 36, 37? To pay Pickens 35 would not make sense because you already chewing up a lot of cap space with him and the quarterback. That's why Dallas is where they're at right now. That's why they don't want to pay George Pickens, because they paid CeeDee Lamb a boatload of money, and they paid Dak Prescott. And just remember, they just traded for Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams, who they got to pay.
Don't worry, George Pickens will be a Raider next year out there with Brock Bowers and Mendoza. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, exactly. You got to force old gas to stay consistent in the game. Absolutely. He meant force. I know what he meant.
Yeah.
Force those guys to stay consistent. Yeah, you got to force them to stay consistent. Diggs, what's up, my guy? He said he got a question for you, Chris. Do we really want Mara? I do. Or are we needing something else in your opinion? Keep building, fella. Decks. Before Chris go.
All right. Go ahead, Smitty.
I'm going to tell you, I had this conversation earlier today. Somebody stopped me on the street and asked me about the Hawks. What I would do, and Chris know I talked about it. Rudy Gobert becomes available. You make that trade. Keep the number 8 and the number 23 pick. Move up the board with one of the top guys. You got your rim protected center, blocking shots. You go get an AJ or a Caleb Williams or one of those forwards and Boozer to go with Jalen Johnson. You're talking about a much better team right there, period. But you still have to go get another scorer that can shoot from the wing, because that's where they struggle in the playoffs. But you got to go get that size up front. And it starts with Gobert and whomever else you have up there with Jalen. I think they may have to trade Okongwu in that deal. But Gobert, to me, and then you move up in the top 3 in the draft, I think that's a no-brainer. That immediately makes the Hawks an even better team. But Chris, it's the Hawks expert. Let me know what you think right quick before we go
on. To be honest with you, I mean, even though what you just laid out about Gobert, it sounds great, but I don't see Minnesota giving up Gobert unless you're willing to give up one of those picks that you named. I don't necessarily want to do that for Rudy.
Hold on. Let me pause you right there. I think they would take a future first-round pick because they looking at down the road with Ant-Man. If they trade Gobert, they will have to go out and restructure the team around Anthony Edwards. And then if they feel like they can't build a team around him, guess what? He may be moved too to start all over. So Gobert could be the start of the dominoes to fall that way. But I don't see them building another team around Ant soon if they got to rebuild. Because think about it, Julius Randle is getting up in age. They lost not to us. So just look at what they lost the last 2-3 years.
Well, I mean, you got to think about this, though, Smitty. I mean, even with that, okay, even if you do trade for a future pick, what year is it going to be? Because you still got the pick swaps and the least favorable of next year, which would make more sense than trying to give up something down the line, because you still got to give picks away to San Antonio. Don't forget about that. You're still in that boat, and you're not out of it yet. So you still got that. It's not until like 2028, 29 when you actually own a first round pick again. I'm not trying to give that away. That's just me personally, because there are players like a Jokic, like an Ant, all those guys, 2028, 29. You can use picks like that to possibly go get some of those guys. So it's like you got to think down the future. And honestly, I don't think that we're a Rudy Gobert away from the championship run. That's just my opinion.
But you don't think add one of those top guys in the draft on top of what we need at center is not going to change that?
Well, the thing about it is it's what teams are asking for. That's a big piece. You're talking about Rudy Gobert. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to demand something this year and another year.
You don't think 33, 34 years old will factor into that?
It's not about just that. It's the fact that you're the Hawks. You need the center, not us. So it don't matter about the age, brother. It matters that the value to y'all compared to the value to OKC or something like that for Gobert is different. We know blatantly what the Atlanta Hawks need. You need size. Onyeka Okongwu ain't getting no taller, and you just been using utility centers all around. You need a bona fide center, whether if it's going to get Mara in the draft at 8, even though he may not even be the best option at 8, because you still got Mikael Brown, you still got Kingston Fleming, all those guys like that. And my thing is, it's not one thing that the Hawks need. In my opinion, the Hawks need a big man, Mara. They need somebody that is that can do some playmaking and possibly some catch and shoot. That's like Wagler. They need somebody that can ball handle and playmaker. That ain't Kingston Fleming. And then you need somebody that just fits everything that you do. That's Mikael Brown. So it's like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's not just one thing we need. We need multiple things, or we need a player who can do multiple things, you know, so that versatile thing. And it's just right now, I don't think that Anzi Saleh, because Anzi Saleh was going to blow all this up, he would have just traded for the number 1 pick, because I talked about it on Hawks Digest, and I'll just bring it up real quick and then we get back to Falcons. Anzi has already turned down a trade. The Wizards said, give us the 8 and the 23. We knew that was going to have to go to get up to the number 1 pick anyway. So cool. But then they start saying, okay, we want future picks too. Future picks, okay. Now thinking in my mind of what I just said, we got pick swaps and everything that we got to get rid of. They probably not asking for that. They probably asking for the least favorable, or they're probably asking for your own picks that's going to happen later on down the line. Anzi Saleh is like, I'm not doing that because I'm handcuffing myself, and that means things got to work, or I'm gonna be out of a job in a couple seasons. So with that being said,
saw that with Landry Fields.
That's what I'm saying. And then that's not all. Future picks, and they wanted Zachary Ricochet on top of that. So you're getting picks on top of picks and still a player just to move up to 1 to go get one player that's not necessarily taking you directly to the finals.
Yeah.
That ain't good. That ain't good business. That's how you get fired. You get fired doing stuff like that.
Hey, it's a slippery slope. You can get better in some aspects with those kind of trades, but like you said, it depends on what you got to trade down the road for your future assets, and that's why OKC is thriving right now.
I agree with this.
But that's why Rudy Gobert always came on my mind, because he's getting older. But I get what you're saying, but it's a need for the Hawks. So since it's a need for them, they got to overpay.
They can ask for more.
So I get it.
Like, yeah, go ahead and give me an extra pick or something like that, because y'all need a center. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Like, trust me, I get it. But before we get into our next topic on Ulbrich, we're not going to hold y'all long on that. But Alan, I'm still standing on that. We're still a long way from week 1. We're still a long way from preseason. We got 3-4 months. We're still a ways away. So I'm going to still stand on it.
Hey,
He might be the quarterback one. I'm not going to rule that out. But he still got a long journey here. He even said that today. We got to look at what's ahead right now and not look at the future. So, look, we still got a ways to go. One thing about me, like I said, I'm going to keep it real. I might not like it. I'm going to still stand on it. Still stand on it. Till he take that snap, hey. Oh, yeah, Jackson Smith and Jigba, $42 million. He absolutely earned that. He's a game changer. He's a technician on the field. Not super fast, but he's a technician. Knows how to run routes, knows how to find holes in the zone. And even though he's not super fast, he still take top off the defense because he knows how. So, look, nothing against, like I said, nothing against Drake.
I said this before, and I'll say this again about Drake, and then we can move on to Jeff Ulbrich. I'm interested to see if Drake gets paid first or if Puka Nacua gets paid first.
And that will bode even worse for the Falcons. That will bode even worse because Puka Nacua was a 4th round pick. Think about that. He was a 4th or 5th round pick. And but he's a 4th rounder. So when you look at him getting paid that kind of money, but all you gotta do is go back to the numbers. He's put up stupid numbers his first 3 years in the league. He don't have a 5th year option, so they got to pay him now.
Yeah, and think about it too. He's not no speedster either. Like, to be honest,
another field technician. Knows how to find holes in his own. His run out to the catch is stupid. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. One thing that I do not like about Drake, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. When Drake catches the ball, sometimes he falls. You don't see a lot of run after the catch. You don't not see a lot of game changing. Now he can make plays, but Puka Nacua's run after the catch is crazy. Jackson Smith and Jigba run after the catch is crazy. Those guys are field technicians. Even Jamar Chase is a field technician. His run after the catch is stupid. See, the thing about a receiver, run after the catch is important. Being vertical is important. Learning how to run the route tree and write any route in the playbook is important. And it's something that you learn over time. A lot of people don't learn it right off. But as a receiver, if you're born with it, you're born with it. If you ain't, you ain't.
Yeah.
Just that simple. Just that simple.
It's funny, Drake, his first 2 seasons, remember when Drake had to jump for every pass?
Yep.
Because of the quarterback throw. It's just bad. It was so funny when Kirk first got here, when Michael Penix first got here, and Drake London started catching passes different. And I remember, I think it was Michael Penix first throw to him in OTAs type thing. Drake kind of jumped a little bit, and he had to kind of bring his hands down because the pass was where it's supposed to be, but he jumped and he didn't have to. It was just, man, that was funny. But ultimately though,
and before we go on,
chill.
I give y'all another example. Ho, what's up, my guy? I'll be on Ho tomorrow on Sports Roundtable. Y'all gonna check us out on YouTube.
Shout out.
But I give y'all another example. Roddy White had to grow into being Roddy White because the first 2 seasons he struggled with drop passes. He struggled with route running, but when Roddy finally got together and we knew what Roddy could be, that 3rd year, Roddy burst onto the scene and showed y'all he could be a top receiver in the league. And if I ever get him on the show, I will tell him to tell y'all about his first 2 seasons in the league and what he had to learn. Mm-hmm. Roddy White had to learn that. He had to learn to be an NFL receiver. Because, one thing about being an NFL player, you can always grow and get better if you're willing to put in the work. Roddy put in the work to get better.
I agree.
So, look, if Drake want to take his game to the next level, if he don't work on being a vertical threat, he can do that. But if he wants to be a 50-50 catch guy, a red zone animal, he can be that too. Maybe that's what he's best at. And what have the Falcons struggled with the last 2-3 years? The red zone. Maybe that's his calling. Who knows? Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I remember that, man. Roddy White, I mean, he'll run a good route, and then it just hit his hands, and it just, I don't know. I still remember that one. Remember that one in the back of the end zone that would have won the game if he would have caught it?
Right.
It just like kind of went off his hands. I was like, no, I didn't know. But hey, at the end of the day, it helped make him a better player and shoot one of the best Falcons they ever threw on the jersey. So,
Facts. But see, that's what I'm saying. You got to grow into these things, man. You got to. Shout out, we got Daniel Flick, man. We had Daniel on tomorrow. Talk some Falcons, OTAs. So make sure y'all tune in for that. My guy, my nephew Daniel, man, he been doing this thing, man. He went back to school to get his degree, and now he's back with the AJC, taking over for D-Led. And I know Daniel will do a good job. I know I told y'all about Daniel a while back, just to watch for him down the road because I see greatness in that kid. But he's doing this thing. He's still young. He's got a long way to go. Go ahead.
No, I just said, Daniel's the man for real. Nice guy. Honestly, knowledgeable about the game too, and loves the Falcons, love what he does, and just ultimately just a real cool dude, man. I still remember when Falcons Twitter band together when there was a guy coming after Daniel Flick, and we all had to jump on.
Oh yeah, we went at it. We went at it with dude.
Yeah, we was like, hold on, not Daniel Flick.
Y'all ain't even do nephew like that, man. And the crazy thing about it, man, when I first had Daniel on the show, Daniel was about 19. Daniel was young, man, about 19. So I've been knowing Daniel for a minute, man. He's finished college. He's doing this thing. Now he's at the AJC. So shout out to him, man. We'll have him on tomorrow. So y'all come through with them questions for him. And please be respectful. That's all we ask. But right quick, man, we've talked about coaching throughout this show. But we want to give y'all the insight as to what's been going on with Jeff Ulbrich, and it's no surprise. But nephew Daniel Flick put out a tweet earlier today, and he's a defensive coordinator. Jeff Ulbrich is in Orlando. He's in a program, accelerated program for the NFL that helps coaches and front office members get further advanced into what they're doing in the front office for the GM. Maybe a team president or a coach moving up from coordinator to head coach. But he's in Orlando doing that. He will miss Atlanta's first 2 OTAs, which was yesterday and today. He'll be back tomorrow. But he will not be back tomorrow. He'll be back Thursday. And a good opportunity for Ulbrich at an event geared towards assistants with future head coaching potential. And the thing about Jeff Ulbrich, he took over as Jets interim coach a couple of years ago. And he's I think he's done it twice actually. And he's, to me, is going to be head above the class of the rest. Because when you look at things, what it takes to be a coach, I think he has all those qualities to become a positive head coach. He just has to land in the right position. And being under a guy like Terry Fontenot, who built the team pretty good, and now being under Matt Ryan and Ian Cunningham, who's been around for a while, to learn from those guys, in case he has to build the team, I think he's in a perfect position to be a coach next year. And me and Chris talked about this behind the scenes just a little bit. But these type things you have to expect, as an NFL fan, because one thing about coaching, it's going to always flip. And all it takes for an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator or even an assistant up under them, all it takes is for that team to perform well. And the Falcons get 57 sacks last year, something they had never done before. That put him on the front line to become the head coach, because we were pretty lucky that he came back this year. But they signed him to another deal. But if they perform well this year, he's going to be gone after this year. And that puts us into the mind state, but I'm going to let Chris talk about it because he talked about it last week, so I'm going to let him bring that point up. But Ulbrich possibly being a coach next year and being in this accelerator program, how do you think this affects the Falcons? And I'm going to add Daniel Flick this as well tomorrow.
Yeah, man. I mean, you think about just some of the names that's in that whole cycle. Some of the receivers, saying what Aiden Duran, remember we interviewed for our head coaching job, and then you got the Josh McCown, and that's former quarterback and quarterbacks coach Jeff Ulbrich. People were trying to get after him too, but luckily he was able to stay. But I talked about Nate Ollie making him one of the highest paid defensive line coaches. Maybe the Falcons should start trying to see and just investigate the avenue of possibly him taking over for Jeff Ulbrich. As if we come out and get another 50 sack season or even 40 sacks. I mean, 40 sacks will still get a guy a coaching job too. That, and then the secondary is still doing well. The defense seems really consistent. Teams are wanting to try to pluck from that. And there's going to be somebody that's going to offer Jeff Ulbrich a head coaching job. And if the situation is right, I can see Jeff Ulbrich going somewhere. That's where you need to start talking possibly to Nate Ollie to see, hey, Nate, are you interested into a DC position? Because we may need that from you, so if Jeff moves on. Here's the thing that I'm going to end this whole conversation on, and this right here is the scariest thing in the world to me. I mean, just considering the fact the recent success and all. Think about if Jeff Ulbrich leaves. There's a chance that he can take Nate Ollie with him.
Yep.
And give him a DC job wherever he goes.
Yep.
Think about that. So Falcons, I would be at least talking to on the back end. Hey, man, you interested in this? Now, if he's not interested in becoming a DC, period, or for you, then it is what it is. But I would at least, investigate the avenue. I would definitely, kick the stones on that and just see. Because, again, this is what happens all the time. Think about what happened in Matt Ryan's era. It was hard keeping offensive coordinators around, on a consistent level, because Matt will go out there and perform. The offense will go out there and perform. You lose a guy. You got to bring another guy in. Maybe a season or two, you lose a guy.
And one
two,
guy they lost before Shanahan got here was George Knapp. Rest in peace to him. Former Falcons offensive line coach and offensive coordinator and quarterback coach. Before they lost him, before there was a Matt LaFleur, before there was Kyle Shanahan, there was George Knapp. And George Knapp fit that Dan Reed style, that run first style that we all come to know. So again, these type things flip over, and it's hard sometimes to replace these guys. But I told Chris to just keep this in mind. I'm glad he brought that point up, because a point that I want to bring up, and it could happen. One guy that was with Cleveland last year that should have been the head coach this year, Jim Schwartz. I think he could be the perfect replacement if he doesn't get a head coaching job, and if Jeff Ulbrich leaves, Jim Schwartz could be the perfect replacement for that guy, because Jim Schwartz is a seasoned veteran in this league. He's a former Detroit Lions head coach. He was in Cleveland last year with Stefanski, so he knows Stefanski, and the type players that we have on this team fits exactly what he likes to do: speed, power up front, and a solid secondary. Because think about what they had in Cleveland. They had Denzel Ward, they had Grant Delpit, they had Jabril Peppers at one point. Who was that other quarterback? Newsom, who got traded. So, and now they still have Tyson Campbell. So you talk about a coach that knows how to coach veteran players and know how to get the best out of their players. Jim Schwartz would be an excellent replacement in case something happened to Jeff Ulbrich after the season, because since he didn't get that job, he hadn't signed anywhere else, I don't think. He may be a consultant somewhere, but if he wants to get back into coaching next year as a defensive coordinator and work himself back up, I think Kevin Stefanski will probably get the first shot, knowing that they work together in Cleveland, or depending on what happened with Dan Campbell after the season, he could go back to Detroit as a coach again, because sometimes we bring back coaches. Remember Raheem Morris, Marion Campbell back in the day? So it could happen. Lehman Bennett was another one. So just saying, Jim Schwartz would be a great addition to this staff if they were to lose Jeff Ulbrich. Just saying. So it's just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. What did it say? Hold on. I see a question. One sec. Go ahead.
Okay.
It said brick for head coach. No, I seen that. He said brick for head coach. If Stefanski gonna get the offense right now,
No, not after one season. I mean, the only way Stefanski get
it's
fired
not
after one
gonna happen.
season if they win 2 games and they just terrible. That's
Yeah,
the only
now
way
that 3 and
Stefanski get
14
fired.
thing that Roundtable Sports was talking about, if
That
that does
possibly
come
could.
into fruition, I do
Yeah.
think that's grounds for firing first season. 3 and 14, you don't do
With this
better
kind of team,
last regime. Okay,
yeah. Then think about it, they'll make them look bad for firing Raheem Morris if they go that bad. That's a
Man.
big drop off.
I couldn't even imagine.
Dan said the defense is Jeff Ulbrich's pride possession, that he still can mold into the greatest defense identity this franchise has had. I can see him for 2 years if we can clinch the playoff back to back. Yeah, but the thing about it, the more they win, the more is a probability that he leaves. That's the thing, because that's what organizations are looking for. They're looking for winners. And yeah, he had a bad run in New York after what's the guy that was the coach? He's in Tennessee now. Robert Saleh, when he was there, Jets front office bad. Let's just keep it real. If Saleh had a better front office, I think that Jets job turned out to be better. But we all know the Jets got the worst ownership in the league. Let's keep that real. But yeah, Dan, if they win, he's more than likely gone. That's what organizations looking for. Melvin said, Chris, what about trading for Robert Gobert? He used to play with Quinn. We just talked about that, Melvin. Rewind it just a little bit, probably about 15 minutes, around the 1 hour mark. William Amy, what's up, my guy? He said we need 10 wins or 11. I can see that. Defense is going to be all right. It's the offense and special teams. And I think we fixed all of that because that's what we've been aiming for all offseason. Special teams help. Offensive coordinator is going to change the way the offense look, just period. Because you had an inexperienced guy coming in and you bring in 4 guys to experience in coaching offense and quarterbacks. So if we fall off because of that, that just, I don't know what to say. Hell, Matt Ryan should get fired.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, you just never know when you just do that poorly. You just never know, man. Again, 3 and 14, I think that's grounds for somebody's head got to roll after getting so close. Really, like, you think about it, we've been getting closer and closer and closer. And to have that drop off with this team and all this talent, 3 and 14.
Win our team at that. Yeah. Win our team.
Out of here.
Hey, KG Money said, what's up, Smitty? Hey, I'm getting old. I got to go to bed. You sound like me. I'll catch the replay. Thanks for everything.
Thank you,
keep up the great work. Appreciate you, my guy. Yeah, we know about it. You ain't got to tell me, man. I had a long day today, man. I wasn't feeling too good. So I got some rest today. But, yeah, I know it because, boy, some days I can't even drag myself into here to talk sports. I got to just go and lay down on the sofa downstairs while I'm looking at TV or go to bed and just fall asleep. It's just getting old, man. And that's not a bad thing. It's just not a bad thing. Solomon, what's up, man? He said Atlanta should win 11 games. Al Harris is another good one. Bears defensive back coach. Ian Cunningham was with him in Chicago.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ian Cunningham got choices, man. Trust me, he do. And the thing too, I didn't even think about this. Jim Schwartz was in Philadelphia as well.
Yeah, he was.
So look, it just make too much sense. Yeah, Greg Knapp. Yeah, Greg Knapp. Rest in peace to him, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, we've had some solid coaches, man. But some crazy thing, for some reason, we just can't put it all together at once. We did once, but just couldn't close the deal. Just couldn't close the deal. But let's look at the list before we sign out, man. Let's look at the list right quick as to the people that are there. And front office guys, Adam Berry from the Eagles, assistant general manager Brandon Brown, Giants, director of player personnel Cam Williams, assistant general manager Catherine Hickman, a female, vice president of football operations. So shout out to her, man, for putting for doing her thing, man. Chad Alexander with the Chargers, Chris Blanco with the Texans, Dan Sagani with the Titans, Glenn Cook with the Browns, Vice President of Player Personnel as well, Shane Lipford, and that name sounds familiar because the Falcons were looking at him as GM. So hey, and there go another McKay name with the Rams, Assistant General Manager. Josh Williams, another guy who interviewed for the Falcon GM job. Lance Newmark from the Giants, Mike Bradway from the Chiefs, Mike Greenberg from the Bucks. That name sounds familiar. Milt Anderson from the Packers, Nolan Teasley from the Seahawks, R.J. Gillian, another guy who interviewed for the Falcons job.
R.J. Gillian.
And the Bills, Terrence Gray. And those are the front office people, man. And that's the coaches. Aiden Dirty, another guy who interviewed for the Falcons. Chris Hewitt on the Colts. Bengals offensive coordinator Dan Pitcher. Durante Jones from the Commanders. Darren Rizzi from the Broncos, special teams coach. And that he's one of the best special team coaches in the league.
Yeah.
David Shaw, former Stanford coach with the Lions. Eric Bieniemy, and we all know that name. Chiefs offensive coordinator. Grant Uditsky, Jazz offensive coordinator, very good offensive coordinator. We see Brick there, Josh McCown, former quarterback in the NFL. He's a quarterback coach in Minnesota. Clayton Adams, offensive coordinator in Dallas. Mike Kafka, former Eagles quarterback, who's the passing game coordinator with Detroit. And his name came up a lot last year, even with the Eagles, of course, taking over as offensive coordinator for a little while there. Mike McDaniel, Chargers offensive coordinator. Nate Scalahese.
Scalahese or something like that.
Yeah. So offensive coordinator, and under that Sean McVay, he's definitely gonna get a job. Nick Cayley, offensive coordinator of Texas, and Terrell Williams, assistant head coach with the Patriots. And one name that I don't see is former Texas offensive coordinator from a couple of years ago. Nowhere to be found.
Slovic,
exactly. Just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Really did, man. It really did. I think Daniel's going to get another job soon too.
Absolutely.
I think
absolutely. He don't have to go to that. I think he's out. Yeah, I think he's already set up, man. He knows too many people. Steve Spagnuolo, not a head coach. That's a good question. Andy Reid keeping him close, but that's up to Spags, man. If Spags wants to leave, he can leave whenever he gets ready. And he turned down the job about 2 years ago. So
yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah,
this could be a possibility that Spags could be the successor of Andy. You never know.
Yeah, because I thought it was gonna be Bieniemy, but I see that's not gonna happen.
That's not.
And you think about with Spags being there for so long, he knows the players. He knows how the organization is ran. It only makes sense. But that's super sticker for you, Chris.
So, thank you. Appreciate the super from Miss Drea Mack. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, shout out to Greg Knapp, man. Rest in peace, a great coach, man. Man, that was a bad motorcycle accident, but shout out to him. Prayers up to his family, man. So,
bro,
yeah,
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't fool with no motorcycle. I ain't gonna lie to you. A 4-wheeler, I'll deal with old 4-wheeler, something like that.
But bro, I ain't gonna lie. Small as I am, I always wanted to learn how to ride a motorcycle. My damn health would just wouldn't allow it.
Yeah,
because I know if I fall, it's over with.
All I'm saying is the only thing on 2 wheels you gonna see me on is a mongoose. For those who know what that is.
Yeah, old school bicycle.
Yeah, with the pegs on it too. Yeah, gotta have the pegs on it.
Boy, you went old school with that one. Put the can in the back tire, make it sound like a motorbike.
Man, listen.
They in the chat, they know what I'm talking about. But look. Jeff Ulbrich, man, I would not be surprised if he's gone after this season. Just wouldn't surprise me because, like I said, we've been talking about it. Yeah, Cavs might have hit their stride, man. Way they beat down on Detroit them last couple of games, they might have hit their stride.
Are they using
Jared Allen to turn the corner? Right.
That's my whole thing. How much does Jared Allen has? Does Jared Allen have close to a double-double? Because if he does, and it doesn't surprise me why
they hard to stop when he going. Yeah.
You gotta keep him engaged. I mean, and he's not one of those players that when I say that, but what I mean is he's a factor when you keep him engaged. And then if you get him in rhythm, I don't see at least multiple occasions to where he don't take over like a quarter or at least, you know,
Right.
certain amount of minutes in the quarter and everything. So,
Right.
see, look, 8 points, 6 rebounds. So he's already close
He's
to
already at it.
So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So look, I mean, look, when you look at the way we said a team that had a bigger front court would take the Knicks out. What does Cleveland have? Bigger front court. They have 2 guys that can rim, protect, and block shots. That's dangerous in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. That's what I want the Hawks to try to get, man. Look, Mobley has 12 and 9 right now, too. So that's their other big man. And you compare that to Karl Anthony Towns, who has 9 points and 5 rebounds, and their other guy, Mitchell Robinson, who only has 4 points and 6 rebounds.
Right.
Just saying, you got something that can combat it.
My boy H.O. said, if we losing coaches, we winning football games.
Yes.
200%.
Losing coaches means we're winning.
Quick question before we get out of here, Chris. Melvin want to know, what about the Hawks signing Yo Desimu?
Ayo Dosunmu, man.
Yeah, I can never get his name right, man.
But yeah, heck yeah. My thing is, I wanted Dosunmu before he went to Minnesota. I just knew it wasn't going to happen with all the players that we had. And we had already had like enough guards and all this stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, you think about it, Ayo really stepped into a new role with Minnesota, and he was able to get displayed a little bit more. Honestly, it would be crazy for Minnesota not to bring him back. But yeah, I'll take Ayo because for one thing, Ayo plays defense, and something that we didn't know about Ayo is once he gets in rhythm, he can put some points up. Yeah, he can shoot 3. So yeah, I would definitely look at least Ayo to break them in because
Chris Riggs said, you know anything about the number 5 from Cleveland?
You said anything about number 5 from Cleveland? Is that Wade?
5 from Cleveland. Yeah, the center, I think.
Yeah, hold on, let me see. Is that number 5? Oh, Sam Merrill. Yeah, so I was close. But yeah, Merrill is one of their glue guys, and he can shoot the 3. If I'm not mistaken, did he come from Boston beforehand?
I want to say yeah. Because he was backing up Pritchard, I think.
Let me see. I think. Okay, he was drafted by the Pelicans. Okay, he was with the Grizzlies, and then he went to the G League a little bit, and then that's when he got picked up off the G League. Okay, the Bucks.
Another name.
Play with, but
name to look out for. Yeah. Another name to look out for that I'm interested in to see how it plays out. I've been hearing Suggs in Orlando might not be back. I think that would be a solid pickup for the Hawks at the right price.
Dang, okay. And another
Jalen Suggs, I would like that. Jalen Suggs and Atlanta Hawks
be interesting.
At the right price, I would like that.
Yeah, definitely got to be the right price for sure. We'll see what happens with that though. But yeah, man, you already know another great show, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up like y'all always do, looking out for the kids, man. And you already know we said we're going to keep on rolling out videos when we can. Busy week this week, but we're going to definitely still get it in. Again, make sure that you check us out tomorrow at 8:00. Going to have Daniel Flick on, talk a little Falcons football. Not going to hold them forever, but we're going to definitely get some questions in. We're pretty sure y'all got a question or two you want to get in. So make sure that you guys are showing up at 8:00 tomorrow for Daniel Flicker.
Yep. Old Daniel. Shout out to our nephew, man. He doing big thing, man. Very, very proud of him. Yeah, but tell everybody to find you, man.
All right, man. A1 Forever Sports, the platform on YouTube. Come on and like, comment, subscribe, share to your friends, and tell them about A1 Forever Sports. Also, Hawks Digest, do the same over there as well. Channel is steady growing. You already know draft should be here in about a month or so. We want to see exactly where the Atlanta Hawks go. And also, if you didn't know, you can also catch me on the Falcons Digest. Yes, the Digest Media has a Falcons channel now, and me and Charles Jones over there maintaining that page and growing that as well. So A1 Forever Sports, Hawks Digest, and Falcons Digest. It is 10:07. I hope you guys have found your peace today. Positive energy always creates elevation. And make sure you're BG generational, because it's always time to be generational.
Agreed, man. Another great 2 topics for this show. We had to stop through and share it with y'all right quick. Well, not right quick, because we've been on an hour and a half. Once we get to, talking, and then y'all chime in with the chat to answer y'all question, it just extends the show, and we're grateful for that. Have a good night, Mr. Drill. DBG 11, have a good night, my guy. But yeah, man, another great show. Again, we don't know what this season gonna bring. It could be a game changer for the Falcons. Just have to wait and see. But Michael Penix is back on the practice, well, not the practice field. He's back moving around, throwing the football, which is a good thing. And Jeff Ulbrich, future in Atlanta, with a good season, could come to an end. But we'll wait to see how that pans out. But either way it go, it could be a good thing. Find me on Smitty Sports Machine right here on YouTube. Also find me on TikTok at Smitty Sports Machine. Find me on Twitter at FatboySlam_21, because I'm always over there blowing that thing up, because that's what I do, man. As A1 say, man, y'all find y'all peace. And as I always say, man, keep God first, because if you keep God first, life gonna always change and go for the better. That's just a proven fact. But for my boy A1, this your boy Antoine Smith signing off. I will holler at y'all soon, man. Peace.